That's it. That's the intro. Pokemon Black and White was the first generation that totally hooked me pre-launch. Probably because it all leaked pre-launch. But planning out teams with friends and geeking out over new Pokemon and mechanics sure made you look cool in high school, didn't it? Okay, so maybe it was the fact that it all leaked. It made it all feel like secret knowledge and made the whole experience all the more exciting. I mean, having a huge game leak in its entirety like that was virtually unheard of at the time. And now it's an annual tradition. Nowadays, if fans want to stay unspoiled to the new Pokemon games, they've got to give up the internet from May to December every year. Keep it in your pants, Pokemon. Pokemon Black and White take full advantage of the Nintendo DS after learning from the shortcomings of their rushed attempt at developing for the console in the early Gen 4 games. They also learned how to double their profits and exploit their fans by not releasing the anticipated and trademarked Pokemon Gray, but instead 2 direct sequels. Hey, at least they actually felt like sequels. Previously, the third installments in Generations just felt like the definitive editions of the originals. But this time with direct sequels, we got some substantial changes and additions to the games, as well as continuing their stories. But before we get ahead of ourselves, Pokemon Black and White play very similarly to the past Pokemon entries, but with some updated UI and faster load times. Undoubtedly, the biggest change was that this was the first generation since the original to add 150 new Pokemon, and only feature those newcomers throughout your entire adventure. This ambitious move was specifically designed to try and recapture the magic of Generation 1. And I wholeheartedly agree with this concept. Pokemon isn't great because of the specific designs of the Pokemon, but because of the joy of collecting, discovering, and adventuring that comes alongside and exploring a brand new foreign land. And for those wanting that overwhelming experience of having the rest of the old Pokemon integrated into the adventure, that's exactly what they did with the sequels. That aside from completely restructuring the routes through which you would explore the region. Now, outside of some new gameplay additions that got immediately abandoned, like the Join Avenue, it's a huge indoor shopping center strip mall that you pass through at one point where a stupid rich dude just decides, for absolutely no reason, to give you ownership of the place for you to develop at your own leisure. Then he just leaves. Like, enjoy your free mini-mall, have fun making whatever you want, and we only accept it because we're too young to know how taxes work. Yeah, and then there's Pokestar Studios. Oh my god. So they force you to act out in these campy movie sections in an awkward series of turn-based minigames before moving on with the story, all just so the producers can make literal billions of dollars in revenue that you will not see a penny of. You got a free mall, shut up. Anyway, other than all the gimmicky stuff like playing freaking dress up, this is basically Pokemon business as usual. You're still journeying across a new map, fighting a generic bad guy group called Team Plasma, defeating 8 gym leaders, and ultimately stopping an evil plot and becoming the region's champion, with all the baggage that comes with that. Like frequent HM usage, though admittedly not as bad as Gen 4, characters frequently stopping you for chatty menial story beats, and quirky gym themes that kinda outstay their welcome. But there was still just something about the game that stuck out to me and made all the bland repetition fun. You know, the more I think about it, I'm starting to believe that what I really loved was that the graphics are so nice. This is the last pixel art generation for Pokemon, and boy, do I miss it. Hey now, I was pumped for the new 3D gen of X and Y when it launched, but there's something about having hundreds of animated Pokemon and character sprites that just made this game come alive. I'm a sucker for sprite art as it is, and Pokemon's Gen 4 sprites were already great, but adding front and back animations to all of them was undoubtedly a tremendous amount of work, but also adds a crazy amount of character to the game. Well, not all those animations look so hot. A good number of them are awkwardly contorting or flapping their wings in unnatural ways, and basically all of them are just using the existing sprites and stretching and moving their body parts around to simulate movement. Don't ruin the illusion! Fine, well what about the 3D integration? This is still an original DS game, so having a hybrid of the two never looked the best and certainly aged the game. Sure, a 2D sprite pushing a 3D boulder with strength looks weird, but the 3D buildings and environments looked great with the characters. Except when you run around a 3D spiraling bridge or ramp and your sprite doesn't have any diagonal animations. Oh, come on, man, just look at the Pokemon! This one's a freaking Hydra! And this one's a Meerkat crossing guard! But what about this centipede? Ice cream cone! Axe dragon! Literal garbage! Hey, there's a sequel this time. There must be an actual story, right? But it's literally called 2! That means you must have to play the first one before understanding the story, right? It's not like they would simply rehash and recycle the formula tropes all over again and call it 2 for no discernible reason other than money, right? Money.
Money?
Money. Ugh. So in Black and White, you set off on your adventure in the metropolitan Unova region, alongside your 2 friends, Charon and Bianca, who kinda act as your rivals throughout the adventure, showing up randomly, testing your strength, but mostly just padding out the game with unnecessary dialogue. When will Game Freak learn that friends and rivals are freaking antonyms? Well, this was the first gen to go all in on that idea. Anyway, there's a 2-year gap between the first and second games, and during 2, you get to check up on them, where Charon is the new first gym leader and Bianca is the professor's assistant. So, hey, that's kinda cool. And it's the only semblance of a plot that justifies these games being sequels at all. So, hey, that's not cool. In 2, you actually get a real rival with Hugh. I would be happy had he been given any semblance of being a meaningful character outside of copiously heaped helpings of anime.
You're about to feel my rage.
So then there's Team Plasma, who hypocritically want to prevent people from capturing and battling Pokemon by capturing and battling Pokemon. Just like in real life, the bad guys are the idiots. It's obviously PETA. That's what I just said. The rest of the characters all feel underdeveloped or not fully thought out, like N, Colress, and Jetsis. It just feels like the developers wanted to write compelling, morally weighted characters, but didn't have the time to flesh them out like they wanted to, and in the end they all just feel ambitionless or unrelatable. Come on, it's Pokemon! That's like its most defining feature! There sure are a lot of delinquent, materialistic, and trash Pokemon in this region based on New York City. You trying to say something, Japan? And all along, the real villain was capitalism. The music is decent, nothing outstanding like Gens 1 or 3, but it's consistent with its themes, if nothing else. Probably the best sound design implementation is when the music shifts into this dynamic Last Stand theme, when you've got the gym leader down to their final Pokemon, and they come out onto the battlefield with a final quip before you push through and land the finishing blow. Great video game music enhances its existing gameplay in ways that you don't really think about, and in that way, these games have pretty great soundtracks. Still, some environment themes can really get on your nerves, and that only detracts from the game. Okay, fine, I just like the nostalgic fanfare in that Last Stand theme. Longtime fans and newcomers alike should enjoy their time in these games, with additions like the Battle Subway and World Tournament, where you get to battle against prominent characters across all the previous generations, original teams and music included. For those of you who are disappointed with the past marginal differences between Pokemon games, know that this time there are entire areas that change across the games this time. Even though it all basically adds up to nothing in the end, it's better than a small handful of different Pokemon in the grass, right? And since this is Black and White, buying one game over the other now makes you a racist. Or confused if you're like me and you wanted the Black Legendary, so you wanted to buy Black to catch it, but found out too late that apparently the Black game has the White one and the White game has the Black one because that makes sense. You're probably wondering why we didn't even mention the boxed Legendaries, Turbine and Crotchfur. Well, we're told they split from a single super Pokemon long ago, leaving behind an icy gray shell from the split. Well, since Pokemon Gray never happened, we'll never learn what their fully powered state even was. But instead, we just got these 2 gross half hybrids from 2. Because money. Because money! The positive gamer in me enjoyed Pokemon Black and White enough to give them an 8 out of 10. I never put my expectations too high with Pokemon games, but this gen really had a lot to be excited about and gave me a great experience playing it with friends. The critical gamer in me gives Pokemon Black and White a strong 7 out of 10. Sticking to all new 150 Pokemon for a new generation works wonders for the game's personality and lasting impact. Though I still have issues with this game, this ambitious move was so great it only makes me wish that other generations had the nerve to try this move again. The positive gamer in me rates the sequels Black 2 and White 2 as a strong 8 out of 10. Now, these games added all the fun post-game and grindy mechanics I initially hoped for in a new Pokemon installment, and they kept me playing long after release, hooking me on the shiny hunting craze. But the critical gamer in me isn't so keen on Black 2 and White 2, giving them an average 5 out of 10. After ditching what made the originals so great, the new mechanics were welcome, but did absolutely nothing to justify themselves as sequels in any redeemable way. But what do you think? Tell us how your positive and critical sides rate Pokemon Black and White and Black 2 White 2 in the comments below. But if you keep buying 2 Pokemon games each generation, then why not 4? No, you're just playing with yourself! And kind of ruining the entire point of having multiple Pokemon games to begin with, but what he said. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more, and use the links in the description to nominate future episodes. And thank you to our Patreon members, Atomic Thomas, Cameron, Arrow, Rowan, Erica, Shayam, Sid, and Squad Fam. See ya.